Hi everybody. Today we are going to look at factoring trinomials. But first of all, I want to talk to you about something so you understand what we're going to be doing. Uh, when we multiplied a binomial times a binomial, remember it's the FOIL method. The first 5 times 2 is 5x times 2x is 10x squared. Outer is going to be negative 30x. Inner is going to be negative 8x. And then last is positive 24. Now what we did last week was factoring by grouping. We worked with the F, the O, the I, and the L. And you had to work backwards and come up with the two binomials. Well, if we were going to continue this on, do you remember what we do with those two middle parts? When we're foiling it, we just combine them. So negative 30x minus 8x is negative 38x plus 24. So this is what we're going to do today. Factoring trinomials means I'm going to give you this, and you're going to work backwards to find that. Okay? So again, this is the final answer, and we're going to work backwards to get the original problem. Now, we're going to start off easy, and then we're going to gradually get harder. Okay? All right, so this is factoring trinomials with a coefficient of 1. Now again, a trinomial is in this format, ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, so that's what we're considering a trinomial. And when I'm talking about a coefficient of 1, that means a is going to be 1. And when a is 1, this is a special way to do these. We can do a shortcut, but I'm going to show you the long, you know how I work. I'm going to show you the long way first, and then I'm going to show you the shortcut. Okay, so that way, the long way we have to do on the ones beginning later in the week. So let's look at the first example of factoring a trinomial. If I have x squared plus 14x plus 33. Couple things that I want you to pay attention to. First thing I'm going to introduce you to is right here. This is called what I call the magic middle number. Okay, so that is what I call the magic middle number. This back number right here is what we are going to work with in finding factors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull 33 over here. And what I need to do is I need to find factors of 33 that when I multiply them, they equal 33, positive 33 that is, but when I add the same two numbers, they equal positive 14. So until you get in the habit, what you'll do is you'll come over and you'll make a list of all the factors of 33. Well, this one's easy. This is just 1 and 33, and then basically 3 and 11. Now looking at those factor pairs, if I add 1 and 33, I get 34. That doesn't work. But if I add 3 plus 11, I get 14. And that's my magic middle number. So these two pairs right there are what I'm going to use. So what I'm going to do is, and let me rewrite this, I'm going to take the x squared plus the 14x plus the 33. I'm going to take my trinomial. Okay, let's go back to here for a second. See how before the trinomial I had the quadnomial? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this trinomial and I'm going to turn it into a quadnomial. So what I'm going to end up replacing, I'm going to replace 14x with the 3 and the 11. So I'm going to replace that one term with 2 so that I'll get the quadnomial. So 3 and 11, it doesn't matter the order that you put this. I'm going to make sure that when I pair this up, I'm going to list 3 first and then I'm going to list 11, okay? Because the 11 can pair it with the 33 and then we'll deal with this in a second. Now the problem is it has to equal 14x. Well, 3 plus 11 only equals 14. So what do I need to add on to the back of each number? That's the variable of x. Now again, this is a positive 3x. That's a positive 11x. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the rest of this problem down. So I'm going to bring the plus 33 down, and I'm going to bring the x squared down. So now, how many do I have? How many terms do I have? I have a quadnomial. So then what you do with a quadnomial is you factor by grouping. So I'm going to group the first two together and the last two together. All right, common factor, GCF of this is going to be x, which is going to give me x plus 3. And remember the shortcut I told you guys? Once you get this particular parentheses, it's going to be the same thing over here. We're kind of cheating a bit. So work backwards. X times what is 11x? 11. And so then I put the outside together. The x, that's a positive 11, and the inside, the duplicate you just list once. So my final answer would be x plus 11 times x plus 3, okay? Now again, I'm doing two examples with the long way, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you the short way on this one and the one that I'm going to get ready to do next. All right, so here we go. My magic middle number is negative 10. The number that I have to find a factor for is positive 16. So let's list the factors for 16. Now the thing is, I need to come up with factors of positive 16, but they have to equal negative 10 when I add them. So what's going to end up happening? Are our factors going to be positive? No, because if I add 1 and 16, that would give me a positive 17, but I'm looking for something negative. So let's see, we have 4 and 4, so they would both have to be negative. Well, negative 4 plus negative 4 is not negative 10. We have negative 8 and negative 2. Well, that'll work, okay? Negative 8 plus negative 2 equals negative 10, and that's what our magic middle number is negative 10. So I'm going to use these two terms right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the negative 10a, and pay attention, I have an a here and a 16 here. So I'm going to pair the 8 with the 16. Again, it doesn't matter which order you put it in. So I'm going to put the negative 8 here, and I'm going to put the negative 2 here. Now again, the negative 10 has what behind it? An a, so you need to put the a's down. Then you bring down the rest of it, the plus 16, and I bring down the a squared. And then we can factor by grouping. We can group the first two together and group the last two together. Again, make sure you put that negative sign inside the parentheses. Now my GCF here is going to be a, which is going to be a minus 2. So I already know that this is going to be a minus 2. So a times what is negative 8a? Well, that would be negative 8. So then I bring down the inside, the duplicate. Again, it does not matter the order. And I bring down the outside. So you have a minus 8 and 8 minus 2. All right, now some of you are probably screaming, Miss Evans, there's an easier way to do this. Yes, there is. And this shortcut is only allowed on the problems that we're looking at because the coefficient has to be 1. Okay, and that means basically there's no number in front of the x squared. All right, so if you want to look at this, if you want to do, let's do the shortcut. Let me write this in, x squared plus 14x plus 33. Okay, shortcut. Since there's no coefficient in front of the x, what I can go ahead and do is I can go ahead and just divide into my two parentheses, two binomials. I'm going to divide up this first term evenly, my x and my x, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to find, I'm still going to use the 33, but I need two factors of 33 that when you add them together equal 14. Well, that was easy. That's 11 and 3. They're both positive, so all you do, positive 11, positive 3, and I'm done. That's the shortcut compared to up here, okay? Now, for this one that we did, throwing that off the table, the same thing. Let's bring down a squared minus 10a plus 16. Okay, since there's no coefficient in front of the a, I'm going to go ahead and put my two parentheses. I'm going to divide up the a's evenly. Now, I'm still going to look at the 16 and my magic middle number of negative 10. So you're still going to use the negative 8 and the negative 2, but because I know when I add them together right off the bat, this would be negative 8 and minus 2, and you're done. Okay? Same thing. I just showed you the long way. So let's look at the short way for the next two. Okay, so my magic middle number is negative 12. Okay. My last number that I need to look for the factors is negative 28. So I'm going to bring negative 28 over here. So I'm looking for factors of negative 28. Then when I add them together equal negative 12. All right, now if I have a negative multiple, that means one has to be positive, one has to be negative. So you guys can know that negative 1 and 28 aren't going to work, or positive 1 and negative 28 aren't going to work. That's not going to be 12. Negative 7 and 4 is going to be negative 3. Whereas 7 and negative 4 is going to be positive 3. So then we have 14, negative 14 and positive 2, or positive 14 and negative 2. So which one of those is going to give me the negative 12? This one right here. That's going to give me the negative 12. So those are the two factors I'm going to use, negative 14 and positive 2. So because there's no coefficient in front of here, shortcut, I'm going to do my parentheses. I divide up my A. I put negative 14 in one of them and positive 2 in the other. It does not matter. I'm going to put negative 14, positive 2, and I'm done. Okay? All right, let's look at another one using the shortcut. All right, so my magic middle number is 3. The number I'm going to deal with factors is negative 10. Again, I'm looking for a negative multiple, but then when I add it together, it has to be positive. So that means I'm going to need one negative and one positive. And when y'all do these, you're going to get better at this. You can just tell that this is going to be 5 and negative 2. It wouldn't be 5 and positive 2 because this would be negative 3, whereas this is positive 3. And I'm looking for positive 3. So that means I'm going to use these two factors, 5 and 2, shortcut wise. We're going to divide up our ends, and then we're going to put in the positive 5 and the negative 2. Okay? All right, so what I want you to do right now is I'm going to give you hitting this stupid camera. I'm going to give you 4, oh man, I don't have this thing back heavy enough or far enough. Give me 1 second. Let me write number 4 over here so you guys can see it in one shot. Okay, so I want you to pause the video and I want you to do these 4 problems. Oops, there you go, that's better. All right, do these 4 problems, do the shortcut. If you want to do the long way, you can do the long way, but we'll be doing the long way on Wednesday. But do the shortcut on these 4 and then check it. So you pause. All right, and we're back. Of course, you know I didn't pause. I'm not that sophisticated to figure out how to stop and restart. All right, so look, I can do the shortcut on this one. I'm going to divide up my x's. My magic middle number is 10. My number on the outside is 21. So what are 2 factors of 21 that equal 10? That's easy, 7 and 3. So my answer is going to be x plus 7 and x plus 3. All right, now I'm looking for my magic middle number of positive 1, and my number right here is negative 20. So what are 2 factors of negative 20 that add together equal positive 1? Well, it's either going to be negative 5 and 4 or 5 and negative 4. Which pair gives me positive 1? That pair. So I'm going to divide up my p's. It goes in each one, and I put minus 5 in one and plus 4 in the other. Again, it does not matter the order. I could put plus 4 here and minus 5 here. All right, now x squared minus 16 plus 39. All right, magic middle number next 16, negative 16. There's my number I come up with was 39. Well, it's got to be positive factor-wise, but it's got to add up to equal negative. So that means they're both going to have to be negative. So you know it's not going to be negative 39 and negative 1. So we've got negative 13 and negative 3. Bingo, those 2 right there, because when you add them together, it's going to give you negative 16. So I'm going to divide up my x's. And I'm going to have minus 13 and minus 3, okay? And then the last one was k squared minus k minus 42. That is a negative 1. So we're going to take that negative 42. I need 2 factors of negative 42 that add up to equal negative 1. Well, it's either going to be 6 and negative 7 or negative 6 and 7. Well, which one's going to give me negative 1? That pair. So I'm going to divide up my k's, and I'm going to have positive 6 and negative 7, okay? All right, now what happens if I give you something that looks like this? X squared plus 6x plus 11, and I want you to factor it, okay? So let's look at this. Magic middle number is 6, back number is 11. Well, the only factors of 11 are 1 and 11, and when you add those together, does that equal 6? No. So if this is the case where you can't find 2 factors of that back number to equal the magic middle number, this is called prime. That means you can't do it anymore. Some books are going to call it not factorable. Ooh, factorable. I can't spell. Factorable. Is that right? Factorable. Okay. So don't freak out if you get some problems that are like, oh, this is not working, because it possibly could be not factorable. Okay. I think that should be enough. If you guys need any more help or any other questions, just send me an email through Remind or just email me and I can put up another video. But this part is the easy part. We're going to get into a little bit more difficult stuff on Wednesday. So I hope you guys have a good beginning of your week, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.